Hey everybody, this is Darren Sabater again with the Bay Area News Group, Mercury News, East Bay Times, here with Mike Lefkow. We're getting ready for the first weekend of the playoffs. Start on Friday. Mike, we just wrapped up a great regular season. How are you doing, first of all?
Oh, pretty good. I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good. It was a long weekend. We had games on Friday and Saturday, and then the seeding meetings on Sunday for both sections, North Coast and Central Coast. But Saturday, I mean, for a game to be anticipated for pretty much the entire season, and for the atmosphere to be what it was there at Sarah on Saturday, I think it lived up to the hype in terms of atmosphere. The game obviously didn't go down to the wire, but it was a game that that I'll never forget, given that Bellarmine Teo, Juju, as they call him there at St. Francis, ran 45 times for 344 yards and 2 touchdowns. And when Sarah tried to load the box, Joshua Perry was able to throw a couple of touchdown passes. Atkinson made some great catches, some great throws by Perry. Just a big all-around win for St. Francis that kind of solidified their special regular season, where they went 9-0 and beat De La Salle. As we discussed many times here, that was the first win by a team from this region over De La Salle in 30 years, and then to beat beat Sarah by 23 points. What were your impressions as you were following from home?
Well, I thought that St. Francis was just the better team. I mean, I kept thinking about if Sarah had Mahassan, would it have made a difference? And it's hard to say 23 points. One player could make up 3 touchdowns. You don't know for sure. I mean, but we all talked about how good St. Francis looked before the start of the season. They looked very good just when they were out there warming up. I think there were high expectations, and they've met them.
No doubt, and they're not satisfied. They're not patting themselves on the back for a great regular season, as we noted in our Monday Morning Lights column yesterday. That they want more. That as Coach Greg Calcagno noted after the game, if they go out and lay an egg this week and finish 9-1, that's not so great. So they have their eyes set on even bigger prizes. They obviously want to win these 3 games at CCS, which would then put them in the open division game for state. It's the spot that De La Salle has held for many years, and it will be St. Francis going up against one of the Goliaths there from Southern California, Mater Dei or St. John Bosco, or whomever wins that Southern section title. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think St. Francis is the team to beat. I think St. Francis right now, if somebody asked me how St. Francis and Sarah would do in a second game, I would say St. Francis will win. And so I think they will come out of Northern California representing this half of the state. But then when you get down to playing the Southern California teams, it's a whole different thing. And I mean, to be upfront, I couldn't pick St. Francis over a Mater Dei or a St. John Bosco.
Right. But you made a good point. In the rematch, I mean, I've talked about it with people since the game on Saturday, and I'm with you. I can't see how St. Francis would lose that game. And I guess the one way they would be is if they turn the ball over. They did not turn the ball over in that game on Saturday. And, I know Teo is not known for fumbling. So that would, he wraps both arms around the ball pretty securely. But that's the only way. I mean, what if it's a weather game and there are some turnovers? That could make a difference in a rematch. But Sarah's going to have to get there before they get the rematch, and I guess same with St. Francis. I mean, we talked about seedings, and somebody sent me an email today going, "Hey, how is Los Gatos a Division I school?" Division I in the CCS and all the divisions in the CCS are not Division One, Division Two in a traditional sense, as we've noted a few times. The CCS puts its top 8 teams in Division One, and then its next 8 in Division Two and next 8 in Division Three. It's based on a point system that for some people it's not so complex, for other people it is, and it's a point system that incorporates the calpreps.com computer, and then the CCS's own system that it's used for years. So St. Francis in the first round, you look at the first round of North Coast, we got James Logan going to De La Salle, and calpreps.com predicts a 62-0 score in a playoff game, whereas St. Francis is playing Aptos, which is ranked among the top 100 in the state by calpreps.com, and calpreps predicts, the computer predicts, I believe, a 24-point win for St. Francis. So that's one thing you addressed in Monday Morning Lights. The North Coast section, I think, still needs some tweaking to its system, so we don't see 62-0 predictions for first-round games like we do in the Open Division / Division One, and we also see in Division 4 where Marin Catholic is a 62-point favorite over Mount Diablo. So I'll let you weigh in, and then we'll get to the picks.
Well, I mean, I think North Coast section, if nothing else, they need to do it the same way a Central Coast section is doing it. They have 7. They go 7 divisions in North Coast section, but
bigger section.
You could see them exactly the same way Central Coast section does. I mean, I played with it a little bit over the weekend, and I didn't have any. I don't think I had any matchups that would have been 62-0 predictions. Mm-hmm. I don't think Logan's going to lose to De La Salle by 62 points. But the thing is that there are some terrible mismatches in the way North Coast section does it, and it's time for the section to realize it's not the best way.
They need to stop listening to people who want to stick with enrollment. That doesn't necessarily make a good football team. And the CCS's system, and we've discussed this many times, is not perfect. That the fact that they have so many automatic qualifiers, you see some teams that have losing records getting in. I mean, it's not a perfect system.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Once they do get those teams on the board, the mismatches are not there. And I know North Coast deals with the De La Salle factor, the fact that nobody from the section has beaten that team in 30 years. And that is a problem. And we've discussed it since you and I have been doing this for like the last 5 years. I mean, that's something we have discussed many times over. And I think the system they've got right now, at least in that top division, is pretty good in the sense that Pittsburgh and Clayton Valley and Monta Vista and California, they don't have to beat De La Salle to get to a state game. The way it's going to work is Pittsburgh, as a 2 seed, is in the top half of that bracket, and they're going to play De La Salle in the second round of the playoffs for what the section is going to call its Open Division Championship. And if De La Salle wins, De La Salle moves on to a state game, and Pittsburgh would drop into the Division I championship game the following week against either Monta Vista, California, Clayton Valley, or Antioch. And then the winner of that Division I championship will move on to state. So they have come up with a system that I like, but you still have some horrific mismatches, given that they do have a competitive equity model, but it still has a lot to do with enrollment size as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think they've addressed the De La Salle situation. They've addressed it. Now they need to address the rest of the matchups. I mean, you should not have Marin Catholic does not belong in Division 4 playing Mount Diablo. There are a number of matchups like this that are just not good.
It's just not good. It's not. I mean, it's just not good. I mean, there's not much more to say.
The thing is, I don't understand why the people who make these decisions in North Coast section don't realize it and change it. I mean, first of all, you can reseed every year. I don't know why they have to stay in the same division for 2 years before they move.
Right. Or create their divisions long before the season even starts. I mean, the CCS, you have no idea which division you're going to be in playoffs until the last week or two of the season. You kind of get an idea, but you don't officially know until the morning of the seeding meeting, because they're using CalPreps' rating. They're incorporating those points that they get from ratings on Sunday morning of the seeding meeting. So it with the old CCS point system. So the calculations can't be official until the morning of the seeding meeting, which, then creates a little bit of adjusting to the brackets. But let's move on to our picks. You ready?
Yeah.
We're going to do 16 games. Evan Wiebeck still is in the lead. He had a big week last week. He went 14-3. I believe I went 13-4, and you went 10-7, I think. So you're now 10 games back of Wiebeck with 5 weekends to go. Are you feeling confident?
No, I mean, when I first made out my list, what I did is I just picked a bunch of upsets, figuring I just roll the dice this week. But then I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with the teams that I really think that win, the teams I think will win. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's luck of the draw, basically. You don't know how these games are going to come out. And in Central Coast section, some of these matchups were very tough to pick.
No doubt. We're going to go from in reverse order. We're going to start at the bottom, and we're going to go North Coast all the way up to the last game that we'll pick in the Central Coast. So we're going to start off with Vallejo and Tennyson. CalPreps predicts Tennyson to win this one 44-7. One of the closer first-round matchups in the NCS. Kidding. I'm taking Tennyson. Evan's taking Tennyson, and you are taking who?
Yeah, no, I'm taking Tennyson.
All right. Game 2 on the list. De Anza going all the way up to Eureka to play St. Bernard's. St. Bernard's is 5-4. Your De Anza's 4-4. Evan's taking De Anza. I'm taking St. Bernard's. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I'm taking St. Bernard's. That trip's brutal. That's a tough one, yeah.
I mean, I guess you could be inspired by, hey, we don't want the trip back to be, depressing. So maybe they come out there fired up. But I think the home team wins this one. That's a long time on a bus ride.
Yeah, that was a game that if St. Bernard's were coming down to Richmond, I would have picked De Anza.
No doubt.
That's one of those road trips you pick the home team.
Benicia in Division 3, the 3 seed going to the 6 seed Casa Grande, because this is another issue the NCS has where they still honor league champions, and if they play a non-league champion in a first round game, even if they are a lower seed, they get to host the game. So we see that it's not on our picks, but you've got Windsor playing. Who's Windsor?
Yeah, Northgate, and there's another one. There's another one too, and I can't remember which one it is. But number one seed Windsor playing at Northgate.
Silly. I mean, league champions. Yeah, that's silly. But anyhow. They still do it that way. And Benicia's going on the road. I'm taking Benicia. Evan's taking Benicia. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Benicia over Casa Grande.
All right. Next game on the list, Acalanes, 6-4, going to El Cerrito, 7-2. You reported that the El Cerrito coach is back, right?
Yeah, from what I understand, yeah, he said he will be back for the playoffs.
After the video issue a couple weeks ago, El Cerrito is 7-2. CalPreps predicts El Cerrito to win 31-27. I'm taking El Cerrito. Evan's taking Acalanes. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Acalanes.
All right. Next one on the list, San Leandro at Foothill. It's a Saturday night game in Pleasanton. The Falcons are at 8-2. They had last week off, so they had an extra week to heal up and prepare for this one, or prepare for a playoff game. They didn't find out until Sunday. They're playing San Leandro. San Leandro at 6-3. I'm taking Foothill. Evan's taking Foothill. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to make it a sweep. I'm going Foothill.
Yeah, we're all going Foothill. All right. Next one on the list. This was a tough one for me to pick. Dublin at 6-4. I really like what they're doing at Dublin. In fact, TJ Costello is an Athlete of the Week nominee this week. They're 6-4. They're going to Campolindo. This is a Division II game, correct?
Yeah.
Division
Yes.
II. Campolindo's at 7-3. Cal Preps predicts Dublin to win 21-14. Evans taking Dublin. You and I talked a little bit last night. Coach Macy has been around so long and he's had so much success in the playoffs. I just couldn't go against him. You know, I may end up losing this one, but I'm going to take Campo. I think they'll win this one.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Campo's won 4 or 5 in a row, and they're playing pretty well right now. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Cougs.
Okay, so you got Campo as well. We got 2 more NCS games. This was a real tough one to pick, too. California at 7-3, going to Monte Vista at 7-2. Monte Vista won the game in October, 27-22. Monte Vista is 10-8 against the Grizzlies in the Max Preps era, which goes back to 2004. I'm going with CJ Anderson and the Monte Vista Mustangs to win this game. First time I've picked Monte Vista in a few weeks. Evans taking Monte Vista as well. Cal Preps is taking California 28-27. Who you got?
No, I'm going to go with Monte Vista again. I'm going with the home team.
You're going with the home team. All right. Last one on the list from the NCS. Antioch at 6-4, going to Clayton Valley Charter at 7-3. Clayton Valley won the E-Ball Mountain Division. Lost last week to De La Salle. Was competitive for a half. Faded it a little bit in the second half, but was able to throw the ball against the Spartans. I'm taking the Uglies. Evan's taking the Uglies. Who you got?
No, I'm going to go with Clayton Valley also.
All right, let's get to the CCS games. Starting off with Pioneer. This, I believe, is a Division IV game. Pioneer, the 5th seed at 8-2, going to Santa Teresa at 6-4. They're the 4th seed. These teams will be in the same league next year because Pioneer's coming out of the Santa Teresa. I assume as the champion of the Santa Teresa division that Pioneer will be moved up, and Santa Teresa is already in the Mount Hamilton division. Pioneers 5-6 against Santa Teresa in the Max Preps era. Santa Teresa has won the last 4 games. Coach Pappin at Santa Teresa, this is the 3rd school he's taken to the playoffs, and I want to say like the last 4 years, right?
Yeah, because he had Independence and MA and Menlo Atherton, and now
the last 3 years, right, that they've been playoffs, because it was Independence.
Oh, that's right. There were no playoffs
in 2018, and then MA in 2019, and now Santa Teresa in 2021. I'm taking Santa Teresa. Evan's taking Pioneer. Who you taking?
I'm going to go with Santa Teresa.
So 2 of us going with Santa Teresa, and Evan going with Pioneer. Palo Alto going out to Gilroy to play Christopher. Cal Preps. Oh, before we move to this game, Cal Preps is predicting Santa Teresa to win 21-17. They're predicting Christopher to win 27-19 over Palo Alto. I'm taking Palo Alto, though, to win on the road. Evan's taking Palo Alto. Palo Alto's played a really tough schedule, especially non-league. They had Sarah on the schedule, right? And SI. Yeah. Who you got?
No, I'm going with Palo Alto also. I think they're playing fairly well.
So we're all going Palo Alto. All right. We got a few more games left on the list. Another tough one to pick. Half Moon Bay out of the Bay Division of the PAL going to Menlo School, which went 10-0. Sergio Beltran set a passing touchdown record for the regular season of the CCS with 44. Really good quarterback at Menlo. Half Moon Bay's 8-4 against Menlo in the Max Preps era and won the 2019 game. Get this, Lefty, 54-14 for Half Moon Bay in 2019 over Menlo School.
Yeah.
I'm taking Half Moon Bay to win this. They'll play next year as league mates because I assume Menlo School will be moving up to the Bay Division. Evan's taking Menlo. Cal Preps has taken Menlo by 9, 40-31. So I'm the only one taking Half Moon Bay, or who are you taking?
No, I'm going with Half Moon Bay. I think they're going to win this game.
So we're both taking Half Moon Bay.
Yeah, they're playing pretty well right now.
All right. Next one on the list. We've got a couple of games in Salinas. So St. Ignatius making the trip to play Palma. St. Ignatius is 4-6, coming off a loss to Bellarmine. Palma's 7-3, but I understand Palma has lost its starting quarterback to an injury. First meeting since 2012 between these teams. I'm going to go with the upset. I'm taking SI. Evan's taking Palma. Who you got?
I'm going to stick with Palma. I think they'll figure out how to win this game.
We'll figure out how to beat the Wildcats.
Yeah, after the long road trip for SI.
Long road trip for SI. Our new #1 team, St. Francis at 9-0, will be at home to play Aptos at 8-1. First meeting in the Max Preps era between these teams. Aptos has had a really nice season. I believe their only loss was to Salinas. They do have the 49-0 win at Campolindo, which if you win by 7 touchdowns at Campolindo, you're doing something right. That said, I'm taking St. Francis. Cal Preps is taking St. Francis, as we noted earlier, by 24, and Evan is taking St. Francis. Who are you taking?
Yeah, St. Francis all the way.
Okay. 3 more to go. This also out of Division 1, Menlo Atherton, which thought it was going to get a home game, but the points ended up going against them, and Salinas got a home game as the 4 seed. So Salinas is undefeated. I believe they're 8-0, going up against Menlo Atherton at 8-2. Should be a heck of a game. Salinas is, according to Cal Preps, is favored by 3, 31-28. Evan's taking Salinas. I'm taking MA in this game. I think MA, I mean, they're battle tested. They're good. They're fast. Their quarterback is good. I think if they don't, I mean, it's a tough place to play. The Pit is a really tough place to play at Salinas. But I'm taking MA. Who you got?
Yeah, I started looking at how MA did against Oak Ridge, and then I decided, and that was up at Oak Ridge. So I'm going to go with MA. I think it's.
So that was a Friday Night Lights atmosphere at Oak Ridge. And
yeah,
it will definitely be a Friday Night Lights atmosphere. Hopefully they still have the tri-tip for anybody from Atherton going down to Salinas, because they have the best tri-tip probably in the CCS down at Salinas. So, but I'm taking MA too. Saturday afternoon, Valley Christian rematch. Valley Christian 6-4 at Sarah 8-1. Sarah won the regular season game. That was at Valley. I believe it was 28-21, right? It was 28-0 Sarah.
And then
21-0 Valley in the second half. Cal Preps predicts Sarah to win by 15. Evan's taking Sarah. I'm taking Sarah to bounce back after the loss last week. I know Valley is capable, though. I mean, anytime you have Jackson Berman at quarterback, dual threat guy, and Jurion Dickey at receiver, you got a chance. But I'm going to take Sarah in this one. I don't think it's going to be a 15-point game. I think it's going to be closer. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Sarah, and I agree. I think it's going to be a real close game.
Okay, last one on the list. Man, this was a tough one to pick. Bellarmine, which can't play at home. I was told by a source that, their home is San Jose City College, but San Jose City College is requiring proof of COVID-19 vaccinations. And I was told by a source that that CCS wanted to move the game to another site, and the original site was going to be Willow Glen High, and that's what it was on Sunday after the seating meeting. But the teams got together and decided that they would play at Los Gatos, which I guess is a better facility than Willow Glen. But Bellarmine will be the home team and will be on the home sideline. So they're going to get the home bleachers, which are bigger than the visiting bleachers on the other side. So it's going to be really interesting seeing Los Gatos. I assume will be in his white jerseys, Bellarmine in his blue jerseys there at Los Gatos. I think this is going to be a packed house. I can't imagine it not being a packed house. They have not played in the Max Preps era. I actually, back when I was just starting out in this business, covered a Bellarmine Los Gatos game in 1995 at Los Gatos that Bellarmine won by 2 touchdowns. They played the next season in 96, and Bellarmine also won that game by 3 touchdowns. I did not cover that game. As far as I can tell, this is going to be the first game since those 2, unless they played in 97. I couldn't find it. I'm taking the Bells to win. I think the schedule they've played, really tough non-league schedule. really tough league schedule. The Sacred Heart Cathedral loss was, yeah, it stands out because of Sacred Heart Cathedral's record. But as we've talked about a number of times, Sacred Heart Cathedral is much better than that record. Evan's taking Los Gatos at 10-0. You're going to break the tie here.
I'm going to take Los Gatos. I went back and forth on that one a couple of times. And for a while, I was going to pick Bellarmine. Then I switched back. Then I switched back. The lead changed hands several times before I decided
it changed. I didn't even circle the game until like a half an hour ago, and I wrote all this stuff out last night. So I did not know which way to go with this game. Cal Preps predicts Los Gatos to win 28-26. So that's
a Cal Prep score when they have a close game.
Yeah, that is one of the closest games. I mean, the Cal Preps did predict California to win over Buena Vista 28-27. So that, I believe, was the closest of the games we're picking this week. But 28-26 for Los Gatos. It should be a heck of a game. And I'm glad they're playing because these teams should be playing, right?
Well, yeah, it would be nice to see them play. I mean, they're two very good teams. You know, in a sense, it's almost too bad that one of them had to be seeded as low as 6.
True.
Which meant they wouldn't have played in the first round. But Bellarmine might be one of the top 4 teams in.
Right.
And
some of the mock drafts, some of the mock brackets I saw Bellarmine as the 3 and Salinas as the 6. So it would have been Salinas at wherever Bellarmine was going to play down here or in the South Bay, and Los Gatos was going to play on the road against Menlo Atherton, which would have been a great matchup. But
well, that's what the Bellarmine coach thought when I talked to him over the weekend. He didn't think he was going to. He thought he was going to. He wasn't sure who he's going to get. Although he said that he had heard a bunch of speculation that it could be Los Gatos.
So it changed, and it's a great matchup, and I look forward to covering it. And yeah, I'm excited for the playoffs start. This is the first of 5 weekends of postseason action for us.
Yep, it goes a while, and we'll see what happens. I'm always looking for some upsets in the playoffs. That makes it fun.
No doubt about it. So, I'm not going to look ahead. I'm gonna be like St. Francis. I'm going to keep my focus on this game. Not going to look ahead. So we'll look to this game, these games this weekend, and see how it all shakes out. Check out our coverage at mercurynews.com, eastbaytimes.com. Be sure to sign up for a digital subscription so you don't miss any of our coverage. I think it's reasonably priced. I haven't looked lately, but people are signing up, so I got to think it's affordable. So anyhow, check us out. Lefty, you have anything else to add before we drop the curtain on this one?
I'm thinking of looking ahead just to see what I think will happen down the road. I'm not one of these one game at a time types. What's that?
You do that off camera. We're going to stick to one game here. All right, man. We're going to wrap this up.